Alright, so this is going to be a basic usage guide for the practice mod in its current state. Right now it's just at the very first version, 0.1.0-beta. You can see what version you have by pulling up this help menu with R and Z, and it'll also let you know some of the default controller bindings you can use. I would definitely recommend updating every once in a while because we'll be adding new features to the mod and fixes and stuff. Definitely want to have access to those. And it's really easy to update. You just copy the files onto your SD card again, so it's really easy. So I definitely recommend doing that every once in a while. Alright, so let's head into practice mode and start using some of the features. So the first thing you might notice is the text at the top. This is RTA and PAW. RTA is the amount of time that you've been on the stage, including pausing. And PAW, as you might have guessed, is pause, which is how much time the game has been paused for. So it's very useful for figuring out how fast you're actually beating a stage when you're pause buffering. So I just do some opera frames real quick right here. So basically I beat the stage in 51.81 in real time, which is basically how fast you would have beaten the stage if you didn't pause at all. So it's really useful for figuring out how fast you're actually beating the stage, because how fast you beat a stage with pause buffering really depends a lot on how fast your buffering is. So it can help you decide how much time you're actually saving and whether it's worth using a pause strat versus a pauseless strat. And it can help you improve your pausing as well, since you're aware of how fast your pausing is. So let's look into another feature that you definitely want to be aware of, called console save states. So let's say we want to practice the adjustment on Opera. So we pause the pause frames and press X to make a save state. Now if I press Y, I'll load the save state, and it will load after I release the Y button. This gives you a little bit of a chance to move the stick around to the position you want before loading the save state. And so using this, I can practice the adjustment very quickly, as many times as I want. Or save states can be used in many other places besides practicing adjustments for pause strats, but this is just one example. So you actually have 8 save state slots you can use. You can change what the current slot is by moving the C stick around. So let's say we want to practice the adjustment for another pause frame set on Opera. Let's change to slot 2 and pause that set real quick. Make another save state. And we can practice this as much as we want. Guess I do need some practice. Also, you can make save states while the game is paused, just so you know. Also, you can frame advance by holding down the L trigger and pressing the X button. And each time you press the X button, it will make a new save state in the current slot. You can also do it by holding down the R button, just whichever one is more comfortable for you. Also, you can quickly browse which save states you've currently made by holding down the L button and moving the C stick between the slots. You can see right now I have 3 save states created. Also, this works for the R trigger as well, whichever is more comfortable for you. And one last thing about save state slots, you have 8 slots total, which can be used on whichever stages you want. But there's only 8 total, so you can't make a save state on one stage in one slot and then make a save state in the same slot on another stage. You only have 8 total so far. So if I go to another stage and I try to load a save state I've already made on a different stage, you'll see it'll just say wrong stage. You can always save over it though by pressing X, and then you've just saved over it. So anyway, let's check out the IW practice mode. So this is a mode that lets you practice doing individual worlds. You can press up and down on the analog stick or the D-pad to change which world you want to practice, and a timer at the top right will show you how long you've been playing that world. And so when you get to the end of the world, and you cross the final goal tape, you'll see that stage select will be replaced with finish IW, and your final time for the world will be displayed at the top. Alright, so that's about it for this guide. Definitely let me know if you have any ideas for new features, or if you run into any issues, and hope you enjoy.